What up guys, CCin'g here, and today we're going to be talking about support decks. Now this is just the first video of a new series I'm starting where we're going to talk about a lot of deck builds and skills on their own and have a discussion about. Now in my opinion, 2v2 is the best play mode in the game because it allows for different variations of decks and it's just overall I think a better play experience. In the story mode you don't really have a reason to make any kind of support decks because, well, one, your teammate will usually block whatever you're trying to give them. Even if you're trying to give them plus more attack, they're going to block that and that becomes useless, so you never do it there. And of course you're not going to do it in a free-for-all in 1v1. Now there are many ways to support. The first way is to buff your teammate, making them have ridiculous attack and they can go ahead and clear up your opponents. Another way is to simply try to control while your teammate again takes them out. Before we get into some of these examples, first thing we need to do is be able to target our teammate. How you do that is you got to change it in the options. So you go to your options settings, and then from there you go to details, and you go ahead and say lock on the partner and turn that to on. That's going to be default on off because technically you don't want to go ahead and shoot your teammate. You have to make sure that when you're cycling through your targets there, you are going to look at your teammate, so it's going to be one toggle longer, and just keep in mind not to hit your teammate with a bad ability or hit your targets with a good ability. We're just going to go over some of the examples that I have for you today, and one of the examples is to buff my teammate. Here's my deck. As you can see off the bat, there's not many attacks compared to the normal deck, but we are rocking 2 reincarnations in this build, mainly because reincarnations is a very hard ability to erase. It doesn't get erased as long as you have enough mana to pay for it again, and it's a really hard ability to dodge. That's why we have that. Now Glacial Wall is the defense skill of my choice that I use for. I get to freeze my targets and it opens up opportunities for my teammate there. Of course you can swap this out with any kind of abilities, any kind of defense skills. Keep in mind that what you're really looking for in defensive skills are something that's low cost, something that's going to keep the pressure off you early, and something that's going to change the fight for you and your teammate. Mainly some erase skills or anything that paralyzes or in this case freezes their buttons. We are rocking friendships and alleviate friendships. Increase our target's damage by 1, increase our target's speed by 30%, and we have a crush in here for some anti-environmental skills, bloody ritual to get down our opponent's level if they're going too high, and we have Angel's Breath for those decks that are going to counter our deck because we are a buff deck, and if they Angel's Breath us, we want to be able to reverse the stack back to normal. Angel Breath is also a counter versus decks that are up in their stats as well. Just in case someone's using a lot of heats, you can go ahead and hit them and all of a sudden now they're -1 attack. So they have to use 2 heats to go up to +1 attack, so Angel Breath is definitely good there. Now one of the main features in the deck is Doppelganger. Doppelganger is going to set our attributes to match our target's attribute. This is really good when we actually have friendships and alleviates live on our target. So they have plus attack and we can go ahead and copy that, and now we have plus attack and plus speed. Doppelganger is also good to use against targets who are also doing the same thing. If they're ramping up their stats, they have plus accuracy plus speed, and you haven't yet got a lot of alleviated friendships on your target yet, you can go ahead and doppelgang that person. Now the main highlight of all of my support decks is this skill right here. It is called Decoy. Decoy simply says target can only lock onto you for 15 seconds. Now that is one of the key features of Decoy because it allows your teammate to kind of roam around freely in a sense because they can't get targeted anymore, and it's really hard to stop your teammate with targeted skills. They can block your teammate of course with defensive skills, but they can't like shoot fireballs at them. So this is kind of a way, as long as you can keep people looking at you and you're running away and you're keeping safe behind Glacial Wall and cover, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get you and a lot easier for your teammate to do what they need to do. One of the key features of Decoy is when you hit your target, they will get stunned for a moment. Now you can spam this and it will continuously stun them in place. You can kind of do like a decoy lock. This definitely allows your teammate to get some really good plays in there, especially when they're running low on aura and they have to rebuild a lot and say hold on, or even if they need to run away. Just keep your targets decoyed. Pretty much when you have Decoy, you're not going to erase it, you're going to keep it in your hand and you're going to spam the crap out of it. Of course, for you, you can use Decoy as a stun as well. You can Decoy Reincarnation, Decoy into Angel's Breath if you really need to get close to them to hit them with it, or you can even Decoy into Bloody Ritual until they have almost no mana left, and you can run back and get your one healing water that we decided to tech in here. Now healing water, you can take that out and do whatever you wish. I think having a little bit more life is definitely helpful, because once people realize that you're the support, they're going to be coming after you, and we only have 2 Glacial Walls in the deck right now to keep us alive. Now there's another way to support, and that is by kind of being like a warlock kind of debuffer for your targets here. So this is kind of the same as the other deck, but opposite. So of course we have 2 attacks here. This time we decided to use Judgment of Anubis, because if we do get hurt a lot, we can go ahead and almost one-shot our opponents there with that, but it is cost 8, so it's up to you if you want to use that. I do love Reincarnation because, like I said, it is a very hard skill to erase. We have a Judgment here for those environmental skills, rocking our decoys of course, but here's the kicker of the deck. We have Dozes and Curse of Earth. Doze simply says reduce your target attack by 1, and Curse of Earth does the same thing, but it's a crawl ability and it costs a little bit less. Crawl abilities are generally harder to hit with, but they're harder to see. And we have level Berserks. Now you can change this for whatever you want to. You might be able to spec in maybe some recalls or even relearns, but I like level Berserk because, again, we're not going to be in a fight for a long time, especially if we have a Judgment of Anubis in our deck. We want our teammate to go online as soon as possible. So if they're looking at 3 mana and they need a little bit more, you can go ahead and hit them with that, put them to 6, hit them again, put them to 12, and they're going to be able to control the fight a little bit early while you get things ready with your Dozes and Curse of Earths. And of course we're rocking 1 Holy Ray. You can put more in your deck if you want to get to this a little bit faster. Keep in mind that this does affect you and your teammate. I've had many fights where I've dozed the person 3 to 4 times and it turns off all the damage that their deck can deal, and they're literally dealing 0 damage. So you have to keep that in mind. Sometimes you want to doze one person a lot, or even both people just a little bit. Again, like I said, there are many different ways to support in the game. The main way that I like to do it is I like to give my teammates some kind of advantage. I like to give my teammates some kind of freedom with their builds. They don't have to worry about going anti-environmental skills or even anti-race skills sometimes, or even have to tech in ways to deal with Amaroses and anything that's going to affect their stats there, because I'm going to be the one that kind of takes the role in that point. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoy the clips that we have here. I did a lot of games where I was playing with communication with my friend, and we were doing very, very well. And I was even able to go into solo queues with another teammate that I did not know, and I was still able to support him very, very well, just because I just made sure that I kept my targets decoyed, I kept his health up, I made sure his stats were right, and we just had the advantage. I just did what I could, and you can do that even without communication, and it's really fun. So I hope you enjoyed the clips. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you don't, you know what to do. Thanks for plugging in. Peace out.
on the block and a mission to make your body